What happens when a classic Warhammer shooter comes back after more than a decade? Bigger, louder, and far more brutal. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 promises massive battles and pure power fantasy, but does it actually evolve the formula, or is it just nostalgia wrapped in modern visuals? Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 is a third-person action shooter focused on fast melee combat and large-scale encounters against Tyranid swarms. It's built for players who enjoy straightforward, heavy combat rather than deep RPG systems. The game is available on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series consoles, and it leans heavily into co-op and replayable missions alongside its campaign. At its core, Space Marine 2 is all about momentum. You play as Lieutenant Titus, cutting through waves of enemies using chainswords, bolters, and heavy weapons that feel weighty and aggressive. Combat blends range shooting with brutal executions, rewarding players who stay on the offensive. Movement is smooth but intentionally heavy, giving every attack a sense of impact. Progression comes from unlocking gear and abilities, especially in co-op operations, which adds replay value. What feels satisfying is the scale. Hundreds of enemies rushing towards you creates intense cinematic moments. However, some players have noted that missions can become repetitive, and the lack of deep customization in certain areas may limit long-term engagement compared to other modern action shooters. Visually, the game captures the Warhammer 40k universe extremely well. Massive battlefields, detailed armor design, and impressive enemy animations help sell the fantasy of being a Space Marine. Performance is generally stable, especially on newer hardware, though some reviews mention occasional frame dips during the larger swarms. The art direction stays faithful to the grimdark aesthetic fans expect, and it's easily one of the strongest aspects of the experience. Sound design plays a huge role here. Bolters feel loud and punchy, melee hits carry real weight, and the soundtrack leans into dramatic orchestral tones that amplify the scale of combat. Voice acting is solid and fitting for the universe, delivering that serious military tone without sounding overly stiff. The campaign continues Titus's story and focuses more on atmosphere and world building than complex plot twists. It delivers classic Warhammer themes, duty, sacrifice, and relentless war, but the storytelling is straightforward rather than deeply emotional. Fans of the lore will appreciate the references and setting, while newcomers may find the narrative more of a backdrop to the action. The combat feels powerful and satisfying, especially when combining ranged weapons with executions. Large-scale enemy encounters create memorable moments, and the visuals truly capture the Warhammer 40k aesthetic. Co-op missions add replayability beyond the main story. Mission structure can feel repetitive over time, and some players expected deeper progression systems. There are occasional technical hiccups during massive battles, and the story, while fitting, may not stand out compared to more narrative-driven action games. If you enjoy straightforward action shooters with strong co-op elements, Space Marine 2 offers solid value thanks to its campaign and replayable modes. Compared to similar third-person action games, it focuses more on spectacle than depth, so players looking for heavy RPG mechanics might feel it's a bit limited for the full price. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 succeeds at delivering a pure power fantasy. It's perfect for fans of the universe and anyone who wants fast, aggressive combat without complicated systems. On the other hand, players seeking deep customization or highly varied mission design may want to wait for updates or a discount. Overall, considering critic reviews and player feedback, this feels like an 8.3 out of 10. A strong, satisfying action experience that doesn't quite reinvent the genre, but absolutely delivers on scale and intensity. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more honest gaming breakdowns, and tell me in the comments, do you prefer Warhammer games focused on story or pure action like Space Marine 2?